Radio Lewes. Local webcasting for a worldwide audience.
You're listening to Radio Lewes, where the music matters, and welcome back to the Rock Show, and this time it's a special show. It's the Rock Show Gets Punked 2.0, because I'm joined by Steve Brooks of Vapour Trails. Good morning.
Good morning, Ben. How are you doing, mate?
I'm fine. I'm slightly trepidatious about this. This is the first time we've tried to do a show over something like Zoom. Obviously, other conferencing systems are available, but we're going to try and do our best and keep the chaos to a minimum. I've got some good stuff lined up, and I'm going to play the first one for you now by a band that always makes me smile when I think about them, and that is Slaves. And although I don't normally do the political thing, if you think back 2 prime ministers, I'm dedicating this to that one. It's Cut and Run. There you go, Cut and Run from Slaves from 2018, from their 3rd studio album, Acts of Fear and Love.
Yeah, have they done much recently?
I do believe there is something new out, but it's not showing up on their discography on Wikipedia. But that probably says more about Wikipedia than anything else.
Well, possibly, yes. Yeah.
They're a band that always make me smile because they're an English punk duo from Royal Tunbridge Wells.
Well,
and that image just makes me giggle.
Yes. Oh, they do like wearing suits, don't they?
They do, but yeah. I keep thinking about the pan tiles and very, very expensive cream teas and punk rock. They're not things that merge.
No. Well, funny enough, that does lead me into my first choice. If you want me to do my first one straight off,
please.
Yeah. Okay. So I was just thinking about punk metal as a genre, and so I had a quick look on Wikipedia, and like I say, it could go anywhere. But there's a thing called crust punk.
Okay.
Which is part of a subgenre of punk metal, and then in between that is ska crust punk. And what I'm going to do is play this track by a band called Leftover Crack.
That's subtle.
Yeah, indeed. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's called Crack City Rockers. So presumably it's got some sort of Clash vibe going on.
Okay.
But I must admit, I've only listened to about 20 seconds of this, so anything could happen. But I'll play it now. So yes, they're from New York City, and what really made me laugh is on their Wikipedia page. You know, they have like little segments of saying like members, discography, stuff like that for normal sort of things. They've got a section that says venue bans, criminal records, and visa restrictions.
Excellent.
So they're living the life, aren't they?
Aren't they?
So anyway, yes, this is Leftover Crack and Crack City Rockers. There we go.
Oh, excellent.
That was leftover crap. They sounded quite pleasant, didn't they, really? I don't know why they get restricted so much.
I'm looking at the write-up on the album.
Oh, right.
It's their debut studio album called Mediocre Generica.
Right.
And they were with Epitaph Records, but the irony was lost on the record company. Because it includes a lot of anti-police sentiment, anti-racism, anti-homophobia.
Yeah.
So that's why they made the move to the smaller Alternative Tentacles label.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I was just reading that they apparently get banned in Canada a lot and have to travel under pseudonyms. But
you can get banned in Canada for saying one short little word that begins with C.
Oh, can you? Oh,
yeah.
Is it Canada?
No. I think we better leave that alone.
Right, okay, yes.
If you can stop your screen share, I'm going to play you something else, which I'm pretty sure you won't have heard.
Right, okay, mate.
From a Greek band. Now, I was a bit surprised when I found some good rock stuff coming from Greece. They're called 1000 Mods, and this is a track called Claws. I'd forgotten how slow the last quarter of that song was. It sounds like somebody turned the turntable speed down, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like they're just eking out the last bit of noise, aren't they? Really?
Yeah. It won't surprise you to know that they're a stoner metal band.
Exactly. Funny enough, I just wrote that down because I was looking it up. But they're also known as stoner doom.
Yeah.
Apparently, that genre. Yeah, I love the way things get broken down like that. It's just
yeah. Well, they're from a little village in Greece called Chilamodi, formed in 2006, and their name is a play on the village name. Chilla in Greek means 1,000.
Right.
Hence 1,000 mods. And that's from the album Vultures from 2014. And I've just been looking up at this album and I found a band I've got to have a listen to because they went out on tour in support of the Atomic Bitch Wax.
That's a surfing term.
I have got to check that out.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Anyway, that's 1,000 mods. What you got for us now?
Okay, right. I'm just going to go back in time a little bit. So let me just get this all sorted out. So, yes, there's a brilliant box set. Actually, there's loads of brilliant box sets on Cherry Red label at the moment. And one they brought out a little while ago was called Shell Shock Rock, which is a bit of saying, to be honest. It's basically all those kind of punk bands from Northern Ireland that it was really weird. Have you seen the film Good Vibrations about the record label and the...
I'm afraid I haven't, no.
Very, very good film. Well worth checking out. And so you've got like, your Undertones and Stiff Little Fingers and Outcasts and ones that really kind of, had a career out of this. But you've got loads and loads of bands that just did like one or two singles. And this box set's collected a whole load of them. So what I found for us is this one. This is a band called The Androids. And this is, I don't think it's a tribute, to be honest, but it's certainly what they've used is basically loads and loads of New York Gold singles titles and record titles and put them all together into lyrics of a song. But anyway, this is called Lipstick Heroes from The Androids.
Chicken ahead, bangles and thrills, you have had them all. PVC, pantyhose, love for boots of 50 feet tall. There you had personality crisis. You had personality crisis. You lived in a private world filled with pills. You had bad girls, you had YouTube bills. You were stranded in the jungle with a monster Frankenstein. What was the penalty for all your crimes? So you had personality crisis. You had personality crisis. You were looking for a kiss. Will your past and blues me out? You're a bad detective. Where your home sent to? You are human beings flying over the moon. Fighting down boys had too much to do. Then you had a personality crisis. You had personality crisis. Fighting down boys had too much to do. 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 Billy Doll.
Excellent stuff.
Yes, 1978 apparently. Oh, is that carried on playing?
No, I didn't hear it carrying on. What I have discovered is another band called The Androids from Australia.
Yeah. Hang on a second. I've just been drowned out by my... Right, sorry about that.
That's all right. That's what editing's
I've been
for.
drowned out by iTunes. Yes, no, I know. So there's an Australian band, isn't there, called the Androids?
Yeah, with the memorable title of a single, "Do It with Madonna." Apparently, with a video with drag queens. That's enough about
nice.
that. I can't find anything about this Northern Irish band, though.
No, I just found a tiny bit. There's irishrock.org. It's a site that kind of there's a Brighton version of that actually that does loads of bands from down the south coast. But yeah, 1977 to 78 lineup included Joe Zero, aka Joe Moody.
Okay.
Any of those his names?
Well, that was a great tune. I like that. And like you say,
Yeah,
really...
it was great, wasn't it? Yeah, I think they were just around for the year. Did a couple of recordings, but that's about it, really. Yeah, and that's what these Cherry Red Bog sets are really good at. Is picking up things that, kind of came and went in a blink of an eye.
I know what you mean, but I always get slightly disappointed when I hear something that I've never heard before and it's really great. And then you discover that they disappeared 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Most of my record collection's like that, to be honest. Yeah.
In actual fact, while I was having a quick look to see if I could find any more information on them, all that kept popping up was Shell Shock Rockers. That was only that collection where they get a real mention, other than, like you say, finding like the irishrock.org website.
Yeah.
Great find, that, Steve. I like that a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ben. Yes, thank you.
My next one was inspired by a sort of an advert for a documentary. And I haven't seen the doc yet. I think it's on the iPlayer about polystyrene and X-ray specs.
Right. Yes, we've recorded it. It was on over the weekend, wasn't it? I think so. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm definitely going to watch that. But they mentioned a band on there, the Nova Twins.
Right.
And they're a modern day punk band, but sadly, still finding the need to sing about the same subjects because nothing much has changed. So I found a great tune from them. It's called Fair Play.
Now I'm scratching up your name, I'm burning all your paper.
And as you can see, because you could see my screen, I got the words the wrong way round. It's play fair, not fair play. I think they're brilliant. English rock or punk duo, depending on your point of view, formed in London in 2014, and it's vocalist Amy Love and bassist Georgia South, and they've usually got a drummer with them as well, so they're not really a duo. And they've just got a brand new album out called Who Are the Girls, which was released earlier this year, and I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There's a lot going on there, isn't there? It's kind
there
of...
is. It does feel very disappointing, though, that they are still singing about the same subject that polystyrene was singing about 40 years ago. It's wrong.
Yeah.
When actually it's nearly 50 years ago now, isn't it? So,
is it? Oh, God, right, yeah.
You know, nothing has changed. And
no.
I would have to say, though, having seen images of them, that they won't get the stick that Polly did for the way they look.
No.
Because she got pulled up an awful lot just because she had braces on her teeth.
Yeah. And I think she had a lot of problems with actually like some of the lads in the punk bands as well, you know, and definitely with the fans.
Yeah.
But she gave as good as she got. And,
listening to interviews is great because she always had an answer.
Yeah.
But it was
and I think
that negativity was a cumulative effect, which is why she quit.
Yeah, it's such a shame because that Germ-Free Adolescence, the album, is actually probably one of the best albums made in that decade.
Oh, I agree.
And in that era, absolutely brilliant.
I was just looking at a bit of the write-up on the Nova Twins, and Tom Morello, I can't remember who he's from now. I think he's part of the Robo Magic album record label. Name them the best band you've never heard of.
Isn't he in Blink 182?
I don't know. I can't find what I was reading now. You know how it is. You move off of something and you start talking about other things. But I agree with the sentiment, even if I can't remember who he is.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, funny enough, I've just found one which comes out of that quite nicely, actually. I'll just get me screen up, mate. And these interviews we feel like, I'll just get me screen up. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let me get right. There we go. There's a band called Period Paint, who in the late 90s did a song called Spice Girls, Who Do You Think You Are? And this is great. So anyway, it was number 4 in John Peel's Festive 50 of 1997. And I think it made 101 or something in the charts.
Right.
Because of the Spice Girls reference, it got picked up by the tabloids and one thing or another. But let's just give this a play. And I think this is actually a Pill session. So this is Period Pains and Spice Girls, Who Do You Think You Are?
Now, Jack, Reese, I'm Luke as well. Thinking aloud, not do what you like. Now, see, take a hike. Alright, you try to be outrageous. You're just a bloody fake. You're just a bunch of shadow cocks in a life, for Christ's sake. Do you want to be an icon? Do you want to be a star? You want to be a life on top, because girls, that's what you are. We hate you now, Jack, Reese, I'm Luke as well. Thinking and Emma, do what you like. Now, sing, take a hike. Alright, you can't even sing when he's on stage. Freezing cold in winter, yeah, that seems to be the rage. You wanna be a rude girl? Do you wanna be a babe? Do you wanna be a scary spice rock? And behave. We hate you now, Jack, Reese, I'm Luke as well. Thinking and Emma, do what you like. Now, sing, take a hike. Alright, you're not girls, you're women. You're boring and you're lame. You try to pretend you're different when in fact you're all the same. You wanna have great boss stripes in your bigger hair. You wanna have a stylish grip and walk around almost bare. We hate you now, Jack, Reese, I'm Luke as well. Thinking and Emma, do what you like. Now, sing, take a hike. Alright.
I like that.
That's brilliant.
I do like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was Period Pains from 1997. From Reading. And that's about it, really.
Shame they were only about for a year, though.
Yeah.
Anyone having a go at the Spice Girls gets my vote.
Absolutely, yeah. I didn't even know that record existed actually till the other day, but yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to have a look for some more of them.
Yeah, brilliant.
Apparently, the Peel session was recorded as an EP. That might be worth a listen.
Oh, right. Okay.
I learn an awful lot from Thickypedia. Although I seem to have come... You know what you said about it's funny how they compartmentalise genres, indie rock, punk, and Riot Girl.
Yeah, Riot Girl.
What's that?
That's Bikini Kill and bands like that. That's a brilliant genre. You should ask the Mrs. Ali B about that. There's it kind of started with fanzine writing.
Okay.
Mainly in America, I think it's in the 90s. And it just kind of blossomed into bands, and Bikini Kill was one of the main bands, and there were a good few others. Over here, there was one called Huggy Bear, and they were on the same label as Corner Shop when Corner Shop first started as a kind of punk band. And I saw Huggy Bear, Corner Shop, and another band called Blood Sausage. I've no idea what that means. And they played this tiny place called the New Adelphi in Hull. And unfortunately, only two guys or one guy out of Corner Shop turned up. And so they all kind of muddled in together. And it was one of the best gigs I've ever seen.
Excellent. And I think you'll find that Blood Sausage is black pudding, mate.
Is it? Ah, right. It wasn't what I was thinking.
Well, that's what I'm choosing to think.
I've been indoors too long.
Well, as hopefully next month, we should at least be able to meet outside for a cup of coffee.
Yes.
I will indeed.
That'd be nice.
Ask Ali about Riot Girl, because that sounds...
Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely
sounds
brilliant.
interesting.
There's loads and loads of bands. So Bratmobile is another one off the top of my head. But yeah, and they're all very young girls. They're all like teenagers. And it started.
Well, I was contacted last year by a chap called Nick Emery from a London alternative rock band called Red Light Acid Test. And asked me to play their new single, and that was Lose Myself.
Right.
And they went on to produce 3, which they called the Lockdown Trilogy. And the latest one of those is Relapse, and I've got that for you now.
Never again,
Oh, what a tune. I love that one.
Yeah, where are they from? Did you say again?
They're from London, South London, I think. And they spent 2019 gigging around the capital's backroom bars, making a name for themselves and sharpening their sound. And then all of a sudden, they got locked down like the rest of us.
Yeah, yeah.
But decided to keep working. So wherever they've been recording, they've put out this EP. It's self-titled, Red Light Acid Test. And it's brilliant. So I'm really hoping that this year is going to be good for them.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear that bands are still putting stuff out, you know, able to record things and that with
Well, 2020 was actually a good year for new releases.
Right.
I've got several new albums. I'm just hoping that 2021 is going to allow them to perform again.
Yeah.
And bring out more new stuff. Because every year I do a best of the year show from all the new stuff I've found. And I dread the fact that if we don't get music venues open again, I'm not going to have a show at the end of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be, well, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be back to gigs. I do miss gigs, to be honest. That's, well, I miss anything, really.
Well, I spoke to Peter from the Music Factory recently. He was unable to appear live for me on Thursday Live, so I had to record the interview. And he said, and so did I, that we can't remember the last gig we went to. Now, I don't know if that's just because we're getting old and memory's not what it was.
It could be.
But it's a sad state of affairs, that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm trying to think now. Probably something down one of the local pubs in Brighton, but it's gone.
Yeah.
That entire year, just gone.
Well, it's not a year I want to remember.
No, well, that's true. Yeah.
So I don't mind that going, but definitely want some new stuff. Talking of new stuff, play me something I haven't heard.
Are you saying you haven't heard? God, now you're asking, Ben. Right, okay, let me just have a quick look and see what I've added recently to my collection. Talking of Bikini Kill and Riot Girl. From Bikini Kill also formed a band called La Tigra, and this is from 1999, and this is My Metro Card, and anyone who with sensitive ears might want to look away now.
My
You've certainly hit the request. I've never heard that before. That was great.
Yeah, no, that's Le Tigre. So the main person behind all this is a woman called Kathleen Hanna, and that's Hannah in like Hannah and Barbera.
Yeah.
And basically, she started this like punk fanzine thing going in the early 90s, basically with other teenage girls. And so that started Bikini Kill. She then did The Tigre, which is what you just heard there. And she now records under the name of Julie Ruin, which is another great thing she's doing. So everything she does is just brilliant. And she's married to Adrock from Beastie Boys.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the write-up on my Metro card and having a go at the then mayor of New York City, which I thought was great. I'm not quite sure what quality of life crimes are.
Well, no, I must admit, I'm not too sure myself, but that's 1999. Then you kind of look at things he's done recently, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
I think they had him nailed back then, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Yeah.
I'm going with a classic next.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because I don't often get the chance on the rock show, at least, to play it. So I'm going with a bit of Ian Drury and the Blockheads.
Fantastic.
And I was going to play a very controversial song, but I decided against that just for today and go with Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll.
Sex and drugs and rock and roll is all my brain and body need. Sex and drugs and rock and roll is very good indeed. Keep your silly ways or throw them out the window. The wisdom of your ways, I've been there and I know lots of other ways. What a jolly bad show if all you ever do is business you don't like. Sex and drugs and rock and roll. Sex and drugs and rock and roll. Sex and drugs and rock and roll is very good indeed. Every bit of clothing ought to make you pretty. You can cut the clothing, grey is such a pity. I should wear the clothing of Mr. Walter Mitty. See my tailor, he's called Simon. I know it's going to fit. A little bit of advice, you're quite welcome, it is free. Don't do nothing that is cut price, you know what that'll make you be. They will try their tricky device, trap you with the ordinary. Get your teeth into a small slice, the cake of liberty. Sex and drugs and rock and roll. 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 Sex and drugs and rock and roll.
Okay, I should comment that I said it was by, technically speaking, it wasn't. It was an Ian Drury solo single, but 3 members of the Blockheads appeared on it. And there's an interesting little argument going on between Wikipedia and Google. Because the single never appeared officially on his debut album, New Boots and Panties.
Right.
Google thinks it did.
Oh.
That happens quite a lot.
Yes, I'm sure it does. Yeah. I suspect whoever wrote one of those had like a CD version with extra tracks.
Yeah, very probably. Very probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, so great old tune. I love Ian Drury stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Have you heard much of his son's stuff?
No, I haven't.
Baxter. Would you like to?
Yes, I would actually. I mean,
yeah.
Really, I guess it's because I don't really go near that sort of music for my show on a regular basis, so I don't think about it.
Right.
But I did hear recently that Baxter had been producing some good music. So, yes, please, I'd love to.
Yes. Okay. Well, I've got one lined up. Although, again, I apologise to everyone with sensitive ears because I just checked the lyrics and I was like, oh, not another one. But
that's what explicit tags are for.
Exactly. Right. Okay. So this, if I can get it on the right thing. Right. This is a track called Miami, and it's from 2017. And this is Baxter Drury from his album Prince of Tears.
Successful I am. I'm like a shipping tycoon, full of promise and calm. I'm a salamander, a short-riff lover boy, causing grief with the bleeding eyes. I'm a turgid, fucked up little goat pissing on your fucking hill. And you can't ship me out, cause you can't catch me, cause you're so fat. So fuck ya. I'm Miami.
Welcome to Miami now. Broken promises are here. I don't know, you don't know. Welcome to Miami now.
I don't think you know who I am. I'm the sausage man, the shadow licker. I'm the tiny little ghost that features in your despondent moments. The timeless whisper, the glassy dude. I'm the science of all that's wrong, and I'm making you think that you doubt everything you love. But I'm here to stay. I'm Miami.
Welcome to Miami now. Broken promises are here. I don't know, you don't know. Welcome to Miami
I'm the great sleeper. I'm the bookkeeper. I'm the vicar. I'm the main course. I'm Morgan Freeman. I come master of neon angels. I'm the night chef. The eye doctor. Mr. Maserati. I'm king of the migraines. Soiled lord of tears. I'm the urban goose. I'm a river of dead fish. I'm Miami.
Welcome to Miami now.
the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it?
If you just heard the voice, you'd have to think for a bit, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And he's kind of got that rhythmic kind of sense as well. And there's the bass and everything else. It's very
Well. I've got a surprise because I only recently heard that he was making music, and that was from 2017. But that's his 5th album. I've definitely got some stuff to look for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I heard one of his newer ones a little while ago on Tick Music, and I was like, it's the same thing. I was like, is that Ian Jury? And it turned out it was Baxter. So he's been doing it for a while. But
well, excellent. We're running out of time, really, aren't we? And I've got one more I really want to play you.
Okay, yeah.
And I see from your list you still have one more, so we've got 2 tracks to go.
Yeah.
This is a band that I discovered very recently indeed. They've only got the 1 album currently, but I'm hoping that new things are coming. It's a band called The Cut. This is I Want You, Maniac. And that's The Cut.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
London-based alternative rock project, assembled by frontwoman and self-taught multi-instrumentalist Princess Mahar.
Yes, absolutely brilliant, isn't it?
You can tell from their sound that they're influenced by the 90s, like the Deftones, L7, Nirvana. I could go on. They're all girls, and sadly only one album so far, Valley of the Thorns 2018. But I think they're fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny because my last track is actually an all-girl band as well. I don't know if you've heard of Gail Hammer.
I haven't.
No, right. Okay. The Wikipedia entry says they're, or they were, so they might have finished by now, but Japanese extreme metal group that drew on blackened crust, black metal, doom metal, and crust punk. So yeah, I thought we'd kind of gone away a bit from the rock element with Baxter Jury there, so I thought I'd bring it back. But yeah, so anyway, right. So this is from an album called The Dawn of Gail Hammer, which I think is their debut album, 2007. Anyway, this is Speed of Blood, and I'll leave you with this, Ben.
What can I say?
Yeah, actually, that wasn't the debut album. That was a compilation, apparently. I was just reading that. But yeah, I was just looking at the names of the band. Vivian Slaughter, Lisa Reaper, and Mika Penetrator.
Yes.
Yes. Vivian Slaughter. What sounds
I've
like
heard
bad
that
news.
name. I have heard that name before.
Right.
I can't remember where.
Yeah. I can certainly hear the blackened crust in there, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I say that. I've no idea what blackened crust is. Well, Steve, it's been the chaos I thought it would be, but it's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been the Rock Show 2.0 Punked. I've been Ben Fuller. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Stay safe. Ta-da.
Radio Lewes. Local community webcasting.